Anisa Bhote from USA. Dear Acharya Ji Pranam, today my question is related to prayers and rituals. I grew up in a Muslim family, performing daily prayers like namaz and reciting Quranic verses. I believe prayers were helping me in some ways, or maybe it was just a habit since childhood. I don't know. A few months ago, after watching your videos on prayer, I decided to drop all praying rituals and mantras. After some time, my mind was feeling uncomfortable and now not much focused on any tasks that I do. There is always a constant conflict inside. So, two questions. First, I want to know, is there any importance of prayers and rituals in day-to-day life? Second, what should I do to come out of this uncomfortable feeling? Thank you. With love and gratitude, Anisa. Anisa, there is always this danger associated with watching videos and taking crucial decisions based on just the videonic advice. I always say something to somebody in particular. There is nothing called a general teaching. There is nothing called a general truth. What may be medicine to one might turn out to be poisonous for the other. I do not know which videos you have watched and where I have advised against prayers and rituals. I surely would have. But did I tell you to not to pray or not to fast or not to recite? Now you watch the videos, went by the videonic advice. This word must be added to the dictionary after the YouTube explosion. And now you say you feel uncomfortable. Obviously you would. Prayers and rituals and all the things that you have seen happening by way of tradition, they all have a particular significance. They become rotten and useless and dangerous when they are not understood, not correctly interpreted, and used out of context. Then instead of becoming enablers towards liberation, they become your bondages. The mind keeps full of something or the other. The mind keeps remembering something or the other. The mind is never empty. The mind is always saying something. It is noisy. Prayer is a great way to get the mind to say things that will help it. Prayer is a recognition that the mind cannot keep quiet. The mind cannot keep quiet. The mind will keep chattering away. The mind is word and expression and thought. The mind is movement. The mind is world. The world is words. And that will always occupy the mind. What is the understanding, the principle behind prayer? Prayer says, give the mind something that would rather help it. Therefore, prayer begins with words. It cannot begin with anything else. It is not that prayer must necessarily have words. It is just that you must necessarily have words. That is your compulsion. That is your stubborn insistence. You insist that you will have words. Do you ever manage to do without words for even 15 minutes? You remain adamant, I want words, I want words. Therefore, prayer must begin with words. But the words in prayers are special because they come from a special source, simple. They are not ordinary words. Therefore, those words manage to calm the mind down. They are designed in such a way. It's a special construction. So, prayer begins with words, and if the intention is right and the execution is right, then ends in silence. Uses words to reach silence. There is no other way. Nothing else can be used. There is only the world and worldly stuff to be used, available to be used, even if you want to go beyond the worldly mess. What else is there to use? Even if you want to go to Mars, what material would you use? Material that is available on the earth. Do you get this? If you want to go to Mars, would you fetch material from Mars? But you have not gone to Mars. How will you get material from Mars? This is the principle behind all spiritual practice. Even if you want to go to Mars, you need to use material from the earth. Do you get this? And do not fall for the stupid logic. Using material from the earth, how will you go to Mars? If using material from earth, one cannot go to Mars, then one can never go to Mars. Then one can never go to Mars. That's the art. How to use material from here and reach there. How to find somebody in the world who can take you beyond the world. How to live life in a way that takes you beyond life. Are you getting it? That is spirituality. Do not drop all rituals and mantras and all the prayers that you have been doing. There is no need to get rid of namaz and the Quranic verses. No need at all. A few times a day, if you are reminded of the beyond, how does that harm you? Either you become somebody who remembers God 24/7 without any aid, without any process, without any assistance, then there is no need for praying. Then you have gone beyond prayer. Then you can drop prayers. If you can remember God without any aid or assistance, then there is no need to sit for namaz. But are you someone of that kind? If you are not, then please continue. This preacher went to the hospital and started taking off the patient's oxygen masks one after the other. He said, all this is so artificial. After all, oxygen is available in the air. Oxygen is omnipresent, just like God. Why do you need oxygen masks? So he started taking off the oxygen masks. You will die. Prayer is like oxygen mask. Take it off only when you become capable of taking in the omnipresent. Yes, oxygen is omnipresent, but are those patients capable of inhaling even the omnipresent? We are those patients. Even though God is omnipresent, do we see Him? Similarly, those patients are not able to inhale the omnipresent oxygen properly, so they need the oxygen masks. Similarly, we need prayer. Get rid of prayer when you are so healthy that there is a direct connection between you and God. Then there is no need to pray. Then your daily routine becomes prayer. Then you are continuously praying. You are continuously in a conversation with God. A loving conversation. Then prayer rather becomes an interruption. You will say, prayer is such a formality, it creates a distance between me and the beloved. But that is a very far off stage. Why talk about that? Maybe in the video that you saw, I talked of that stage. Is that stage yours, Anisa? If not, then why did you apply the video to yourself? Next time when you read the Bhagavad Gita, will you pick up a bow and arrow and start shooting at Alok? Now Krishna is saying, Arjun, fire. And Alok enters and you say, I have just, gone through the Gita. And Krishna is so lovely. And here goes the arrow, right at your heart. Are you in Arjun's situation? To the extent you are, follow Krishna verbatim. Otherwise, please apply some discretion. Are you the one to whom those words are being said? Are you the one? If you are, then follow, otherwise not. If I say get rid of prayer, I say that to someone who has been praying since long and has been successful with his prayers. To him I will say, now this routine smacks of artificiality. You do not need it. Now you are so intimate with God that even prayer is an obstruction. Now prayer can be dropped. But that's the very last stage. I don't know to whom I talked about it. Others need prayer. And those who do not have prayer in their life will lead very, very sick lives. In fact, you can identify sickness by its reluctance to pray. Even if you institute a process, a method, sickness will find a way to bypass the process. It will not pray. I did the same thing in the foundation. I instituted a process. All must pray. It wasn't quite successful. The process is still in place. In some sense, Anisa, there are only two kinds of people in the world. Those who pray and those who do not. Those who are desirous of having some connection with the truth and those who just want to live within their fortified shells. A prayer is a reminder, it is an occasion in the hustle and bustle of life to be shocked a little, to be taken back to your roots, to be once again told of who you really are. One must pray with love. One must pray with understanding. One must know what one is uttering. I do not know whether you know Arabic, but if you are talking of namaz, then you must know what you are reciting. And you must know how it applies to your life. That is important. If you will say that you just want to mechanically go through the process a few times a day, then I will advise against it. If you're doing something, please know what you're doing. In love, one does not just utter nonsense. Or does one? Do you go to the beloved and start uttering incomprehensible garbage? Then it is almost like an assault in lovelessness. It's not then tender caressing. It is then a violent assault upon the beloved. You are throwing words like darts at him. Prayer has to be real. Must remind you of the beyond.
Acharya ji, you said that there is no harm in reciting prayers. So, does this apply to meditation as well? Like, if someone wants to practice meditation for an hour, does this apply to same?
As long as it is a love affair with the beyond, as long as it is not a love affair with something inside your own mind. When I talked of prayer, I mentioned that prayer is a time, prayer is an occasion when you conversate with the beloved. Now, you figure out on your own whether your meditation is really a love affair with the beyond, or is it something within your own little circle. I'm not giving a pass to prayer per se. It is love that I am respecting. Without love, what is the worth of your meditation? This meditation will never result into liberation if it is loveless. What do you want, liberation or meditation? Even if you meditate, you want to be liberated through meditation. And there is no liberation without love. Rituals empty of love, sheer empty rituals take you nowhere. All rituals must have a throbbing heart at their center, a heart full of love. Without that, no ritual is anything except a perfunctory pattern of actions.